Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. Today is Sunday, October 25th, 2020. Good for Game 5 of the World Series. Tampa Bay stunned the Dodgers in the home half of the ninth last night in Game 4 and escaped with the win, evening up the set at 2 wins apiece. Here in this one, it's a rematch between the Game 1 starters as the lefty Clayton Kershaw will face off against Tampa's Tyler Glasnow. Whoever wins tonight will be just one win away from the World Series title. It would be the Rays' first championship title in franchise history and LA's first trophy since the 1988 season. As previously mentioned, Tyler Glasnow starts tonight on the mound for the home team and looks to give the Rays their first series lead of the World Series. Let's take a look at Glasnow's numbers this postseason. So starting off in the top of the first, Tyler Glasnow will be on the mound, making his 6th appearance this October. Previously, he has gone 2 wins and 2 losses, posting a 6.08 ERA in 23 2/3 innings, striking out 33 batters and a 1.44 WHIP. Hello to everyone in the stream and in the chat. Thank you for joining me tonight. Game 5 of the World Series will be starting just momentarily. Tyler Glasnow faces off against Clayton Kershaw and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, as we mentioned, Clayton Kershaw and Tyler Glasnow both started Game 1. Kershaw got the win in the opener. Glasnow threw 112 pitches, 66 strikes, 46 balls. Those 112 pitches is a career high. He looks to go ahead and even out his World Series record with the win tonight. That would also give the Rays the lead and put them just one win away from their first ever championship in franchise history. Tyler Glasnow is a great pitcher. This postseason, he has faced his fair share of struggles. Again, 5 games this October, a 2-2 win-loss record, and 6.08 ERA. In his career postseason, not much better, a 6.46 earned run average through 7 games, striking out 41 batters over the course of 30 2/3 innings. And in the 2020 season, he pitched in 11 games, winning 5, losing 1, and a 4.08 earned run average through 57 1/3 innings. In that time frame, he struck out 91 batters and acquired a WHIP of 1.13. Glasnow will be facing off against Mookie Betts to get the away half of the first going. And just with that, Glasnow's on the mound. He's ready. Mookie Betts is in the box. He's ready. Let's get Game 5 of the Fall Classic underway. It's going to be Mookie Betts, Corey Seager, and Justin Turner due up in the top of the first, and the first pitch of the game is a fastball going to miss outside for ball 1. Now that 4-seamer reached 98 miles per hour as the first pitch of the game. We can see Glasnow hit 100 and probably top off at 101 on a good day as he sends a fastball up and in at 97. Betts fouls it back and the count's going to be even now 1-1 to the first batter of the game. Mookie is hitting .290 this postseason through 62 at-bats with 1 home run, 7 runs batted in, 6 stolen bases, and an .819 OPS. Now Mookie has 4 stolen bases this World Series, as well as 1 home run, and the next pitch he sees is going to miss, breaking ball down and away, ball 2. Mookie Betts leading things off, starting in right field defensively for the Dodgers tonight. That'll be the right-handed right fielder leading things off, the left-handed shortstop in Corey Seager batting second, and the third baseman batting third, Justin Turner. This one misses down and away as well. The count goes 3-1 to Betts, and Glasnow has fallen behind early on. So we know that he had a career high in pitches in Game 1. If we kind of deep dive into his numbers a little bit more, he lasted 4 1/3 innings, as Betts offers at 1 outside, full count. So Glasnow 4 1/3 innings pitched with 6 runs on 3 hits, striking out 8 batters, allowing 6 walks, 1 home run, and a 12.46 ERA in that game alone. He's got a full count on the leadoff batter. We'll challenge him upstairs with the high heat, fouled back and out of play. We'll try it again. The count remains full. So far, a 6-pitch at-bat to Mookie Betts. We'll see at least one more. Will Betts win the battle here against the Rays' right-handed starting pitcher leading off this ball game? Mookie hitting .235 in the postseason, and he'll spoil this one back. The count remains full. Another foul ball, and we'll go to at least pitch number 8 of the AB. In the on-deck circle is shortstop Corey Seager, who's had quite a good postseason. He was the NLCS MVP and is accomplishing some great things here in the World Series, being a big part of this Dodgers lineup as Mookie Betts drills one into left field. It's going to bounce all the way off the wall, and he will roll in with a leadoff double as Manny Margot plays that one off the wall out in left field. Mookie Betts is aboard and in scoring position. First hit of the ball game to the first batter, and there you have it. So Glasnow leaves this one right down the heart of the plate, and Mookie Betts hits it well, sends it down the left field foul line. And it's going to bounce all the way into Manny Margot's glove after ricocheting off the wall. So Corey Seager will come up with a runner in scoring position in the top of the first. Now, in the previous 2 nights, the Dodgers have gotten aboard in the opening frame via a Justin Turner home run. Turner is on deck. Corey Seager batting .500 in this World Series. Fouls back an off-speed pitch up in the zone. He'll be down strike 1. Mookie Betts leads off of second. Seager is 7 for 14 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs in the Fall Classic this year. His full postseason stats, a .344 average with 8 home runs, 18 ribbies, 2 stolen bases, and a 1.234 OPS. As he sends this one into right field, it's a single. Mookie Betts is waved around. He's going to score, and Corey Seager will have an RBI single here in the top of the first. The first 2 batters for LA will reach base, and Mookie Betts plates the first run of the ball game. The Dodgers are on the board early on. Let's see if they can continue to add to this early lead with Justin Turner as he comes up with a runner on base and nobody out. That ball just gets by the diving glove of Brandon Lau over at second base. And now Turner will come up with Corey Seager on first. Now, the Dodgers' third baseman has had quite a good series as well, hitting .444 in the World Series. He's homered in each of the last 2 games, both being solo shots. He's 8 for 18 in the World Series with 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, a .444 average, and in the 2020 postseason, a .279 batting average with 3 homers, 6 RBIs, and an .891 OPS. That is through 61 at-bats. Glasnow goes to check up on Seager after he gets ahead in the count to Justin Turner, 0-1. Now Seager gets back safely and Turner falls behind in the count. We'll see how he can turn things around here. So Glasnow, who gave up 6 runs in his first start against the Dodgers, already has lost the 0-0 score, as the fastball misses down and away, clocking in at triple digits, 100 miles per hour. If we look at Tyler Glasnow's pitching arsenal, he has 3 pitches which he heavily relies on. That's a four-seam fastball. He'll go to that about 60% of the time, following up with a curveball, just around 35% usage, and then his changeup is his least used pitch, coming in at 4.7% roughly out of the arm of the 6'8" Rays right-handed starting pitcher. Now Turner will go ahead and swing right through this one. The count goes 1-2. Glasnow has a chance to retire the first Dodgers batter of the ball game. So Seager still has a little lead off the first base bag, being held on by Andy Diaz. Glasnow ahead 1-2 to Justin Turner. Mike Zunino behind the plate. And the payoff pitch from Turner from Glasnow is a backdoor breaking ball. Got him looking for called strike 3. Turner will go down on strikes. It's the first night in 3 days he does not have a home run in the first inning. We get a chat here in the comments. How about that game last night? Oh my goodness. I went ahead and streamed the first full 7 innings of the ball game in Game 4. And then Brett Phillips with a walk-off base hit in the bottom of the 9th tied the series up at 2 wins apiece. Absolutely crazy ending. And the first pitch of Max Muncy is going to be a strike. Let's go ahead and look at the Rays defense tonight. From left to right in the outfield, Manny Margot, Kevin Kiermaier, and Hunter Renfroe. Yandy Diaz at first, Brandon Lau at second, Joey Wendell getting the start over at the hot corner, and Willy Adames slotted at shortstop. Tonight's Tampa battery will be Tyler Glasnow on the mound, who's ahead in the count 0-2 to the Dodgers' first baseman. Mike Zunino behind the plate, and Randy Arozarena is the designated hitter for the home team. So Muncy steps in with Seager on first and 1 away in the top of the first inning, and the Dodgers leading 1-0. Muncy hitting .245 this postseason. He'll be followed up by Will Smith here in the top of the first. Max will let the breaking ball go as Corey Seager takes off for second. Mike Zunino has that breaking ball bounce in the dirt in front of him. And he keeps it in front, just it rolls a little too far away from him. Going back up closer to Tyler Glasnow, Seager takes off and is safe at second. So now he's in scoring position, but we'll see if the Rays go ahead and try to review this. He is clearly safe. Looking back at the replay, it seems to be at least. Get a better look here at the angle. And maybe not. We'll have to see. I think the Rays might go ahead and try to review the play. But the base umpire says that Seager is initially safe. We'll see if they go ahead and review the call on the field here. But nonetheless, the Dodgers do have a 1-run lead, courtesy of an RBI single from Corey Seager. So Max Muncy does lay off the curveball. We'll see if that hurts the Dodgers though a little bit, if Seager is indeed called out. There is a challenge pending on the field. So Kevin Cash does give the nod to the umpires to go ahead and double check the call. The play was a lot closer than it looks. Zunino with the strong throw down. Willy Adames covering the bag. Makes a good tag. Just it was a question of whether or not the tag beat Seager's foot to the bag. So the umps have their headset on. They are closely reviewing, seeing if there's enough evidence to overturn the call. That would be the second out of the inning for the Dodgers offensively, and it would maybe get Tyler Glasnow out of trouble if Seager is indeed out. So Seager and Adames chatting over there at second base as we await the decision. And the ruling is no. Corey Seager was indeed safe. They did not have enough to overturn it. So the Rays lose their first challenge of the game. Seager in scoring position. It's a 1-2 count now to Max Muncy. And that's going to be scored a wild pitch. So 1-2 count now to Max. A runner in scoring position with 1 out. And the Dodgers already having a 1-run lead here in Game 5. Glasnow goes to a fastball up and in. Muncy gets out of the way. That one clocking in at 99 miles per hour. The count's even at 2 apiece. Now the walks really hurt Tyler Glasnow in his last start as a fastball misses in the opposite corner. Up and away, the count goes full. So Glasnow, the walks really hurt him. He had 6 men reach first base via ball 4. And 8 strikeouts, 6 runs, double the amount of walks than hits allowed for Tyler. He's already given up 2 hits here in the first. And Max Muncy will take a breaking ball north of the strike zone for ball 4. Just as we're talking about the walk, Max Muncy makes it to first. And there'll be 2 men on with 1 away now for Will Smith. So Glasnow really has to limit walks. He's thrown 20 pitches and only retired 1 batter in this opening frame. That's Max Muncy's 20th walk of the postseason, tied for second most in a single postseason by any given player. You wish Tyler Glasnow had a third pitch? Well, he does. He has a 4-seamer, curveball, and changeup. Just his changeup is not used as frequently as his other 2 pitches. He heavily relies on the 4-seamer, which he'll use well over 50% of the time. And then his curveball is his primary breaking ball and his secondary pitch. So with runners on first and second, Will Smith will come up now, batting 5th tonight for LA, and he will take called strike 1. Having another pitcher make him more effective and make him top 10 pitcher in the MLB. Most definitely, yeah, he does not have a very in-depth sequence as Smith takes a curveball up for ball 1. It's really a fastball curveball combo, and that does hurt him more often than not. Rather than off speed, it is going to break on the batter. Fastball right down the middle, though, and Smith cannot catch up to it. He'll wave and miss for strike 2. So, Glasnow, 4-seam fastball and the curveball. He's going to blow the fastball by you, though. It could top 101 miles per hour on any given day. We've seen it at its lowest point through his first 23 pitches of the game at 97. And the curveball, 82 miles per hour, way up, just around the letters. That counts even at 2-2. Glasnow struggling to control his breaking ball here in the first. He's going on pitch number 25 of the inning. And Will Smith will take one up and away, swing and miss for strikeout number 2 for Tyler Glasnow. That will be his first strikeout swinging. And now he'll face the left-handed center fielder Cody Bellinger with 2 men on, 1 in scoring position, and 2 outs. Who do you think are the top 5 pitchers in Major League Baseball? Well, I'm not necessarily going to put an order to it. Just name-based: Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, Trevor Bauer. Again, in no particular order. I would say it gets tough. But I think Garrett Cole on a good day is definitely a top starter. Walker Buehler is so incredibly good. This postseason, he's been tremendous in his efforts. Clayton Kershaw is a great name. Steven Strasburg. I mean, there's so many talented starters. Yu Darvish had a pretty good 2020 season, as Bellinger will swing and miss at a curveball down. The count goes 0-2 to Cody, who is batting .220 this postseason with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs, along with 1 stolen base and an .825 OPS. So it is hard to say a top 5, but those are my general list of names for you there. And a 100-mile-per-hour fastball that Zunino just will not be able to catch. So Seager advances from second to third. And we'll see if Cody can capitalize. There are now runners at the corners with 2 away. So just Zunino cannot keep that one in his glove. It gets by him. Ricochet's actually off of the umpire's right foot, but Seager will make it to third with the wild pitch again. So Bellinger down in the count 1-2, batting .133 in the World Series. He puts this one in play. Brandon Lau makes a great diving effort in the shift, but Corey Seager will score. Yeah, oh my goodness, okay. Sorry about that, a little bit of confusion there. But Corey Seager will score Cody Bellinger with what I'm going to rule an infield base hit. Now, there was a shift that sent Brandon Lau to the right field grass. Of course, Seager ran on contact. So did Max Muncy. And even though Lau made a great play at second, He kind of double clutches, goes to second, thinking he might be able to get out Muncy, and by the time he tries to look over at first, Bellinger is already at the bag. It's an RBI single. The Dodgers are up 2-0 here in the top of the first with 2 outs and 2 men on. Chris Taylor steps in. He will swing through a 98-mile-per-hour fastball, strike 1. He's batting .250 in the World Series, 4 for 16, with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. And of course, last night, Chris Taylor was a part of the last play of the ball game. He bobbled a ground ball out in right center field, which allowed Kevin Kiermaier to score with ease. The throw into Max Muncy was a good relay. Muncy threw it over to Will Smith, who just could not keep the ball in his glove. Randy Arozarena scored and walked it off for the Rays, all off of a bloop single off the bat of Brett Phillips. We did somewhat of a breakdown on the channel that went up tonight. Prior to the start of the stream is Taylor fouls back a fastball at 100 miles per hour. The count remains 0-2. Tyler with 32 pitches here in the first inning. He's given up 2 runs on 2 hits and a walk. See if he can retire Taylor end the inning. He'll check his swing. The first base umpire says he does not go around, so the count will go 1-2. As Glasnow still has to work. He has thrown 21 strikes and 12 balls this inning. Good for a total of, again, 33 pitches now. The count is 1-2 in the top of the first with 2 outs, 2 men on. The Dodgers, a 2-0 lead. Though, as we saw yesterday, that does not mean much. Chris Taylor will swing and miss at a curveball in the dirt, drop third strike, but Zunino will make the throw down to first in time. So it is going to be a strikeout. But again, the Dodgers score 2 runs on 2 hits. 2 men left on base. They could have capitalized even more, but I think that was a solid first inning. And the Dodgers are off to an early lead. So, again, as I was saying, we don't know. Obviously, a 2-run lead doesn't mean much of anything, especially with the Rays bats that broke out last night. A lot of back and forth in Game 4. It was a tremendous game. Definitely the best of the set so far here in the 2020 Fall Classic. I think that's one of the better World Series games, at least in recent history, for Major League Baseball as well. Do you think the Red Sox and Yankees rivalry is dying down and it's the Yankees and Rays now? I think they will both compete like crazy for that division next year. So I think the Yankees and Red Sox are very much still the big rivalry. You know, you look at baseball, the 2 teams that are always at each other's throats are the Yankees and Red Sox. I think it's only dying down because this year the Red Sox were not a competitive team. And the Yankees seem to do pretty well against them. I mean, Boston didn't put up a huge fight in the 2020 abbreviated regular season, so it might be dying down just a little bit, but I think it'll be sparked again once the Red Sox are back to a good team, and maybe in a full 162-game season when we see them more, there will be more back and forth, and there will be more of a rivalry atmosphere. Now, the Yankees and Rays, of course, are always going to be at each other. This year, it was said on multiple occasions, neither team liked the other. There was so much going on. And a few of those incidents throwing at batters. Aroldis Chapman and Mike Rousseau. Of course, Rousseau got his revenge in the division series with a walk-off home run that ended up sending the Rays to the next round off of Aroldis Chapman. But just that and the whole stable of guys from Kevin Cash, everything. I mean, the Rays and Yankees are definitely getting something brewing that's going to be something that sparks over the next few seasons now because neither team is just going to vanish and not be competitive. 2021, 2022, and so on, the Rays and Yankees are going to have pretty similar lineups to what they have right now and rosters as to what it looked like in 2020. Of course, the Yankees losing the most guys, but free agency can always help them for better or worse. So I think the Rays and the Yankees are competitive teams, but I do believe that main rivalry will stick between the Red Sox and the Yankees. I don't know what's going on with Glasnow. Yeah, Tyler just has been struggling here in the postseason. This is his 6th start. His ERA right now is well over 6. and he is set up for his third loss of October baseball, assuming that the Dodgers go ahead and win Game 5 here. Clayton Kershaw takes the mound in the bottom of the first for the away Los Angeles Dodgers, and the first pitch to Yandy Diaz is going to miss down for a ball. Now Kershaw is 3-1 in 4 postseason appearances here in 2020 with a 2.88 ERA, striking out 31 batters over the course of 25 innings and acquiring a .84 whip as Diaz fouls this one back and evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So here is Yandy Diaz up in the box right now. On deck is Randy Arozarena, the designated hitter. And Brandon Lau will also see his first plate appearance as he's batting third tonight. Kershaw drops in a curve, and it's good for called strike 2. Great breaking ball right there from LA's left-handed starter. Yandy struggling a little bit this postseason, hitting 156 overall and 250 in the World Series. He's going to send this one up the middle, though, and it's good for a single. So both teams have had leadoff base hits here in the first inning. Mookie Betts came in the form of a double. Yandy Diaz gets aboard with the leadoff single. That brings up the bat of Randy Arozarena, the rookie sensation, batting .357 in the World Series, 5 for 14, hitting .377 overall this October with 9 home runs, 12 RBIs, a 1.289 OPS, and he will take a fastball inside for strike 1. Now, Arozarena has been a tremendous story to follow here this postseason. He has set the record for most hits by a rookie in a single postseason. He has set the record for most home runs in a single postseason with 9 dingers over the course of the wild card series and up until this point in time. He's on a really great list. He is up there for most base hits, most total bases, and most extra base hits as well. He is climbing the leaderboards in postseason history. And we still have at least this game and one more for him to do some more damage. Now he's going to swing and miss and drop down on the count 1-2 against the veteran Kershaw. I'm a huge hat collector and I hate Kershaw's dirty hat. He needs to borrow my hat cleaning kit. This is appalling. I actually collect Major League Baseball hats as well. I have 22 of 30 MLB hats. And I just love having different hats. I used to wear them a lot in videos. But yeah, I love hats. Clayton Kershaw's dirty hat has definitely come to my attention a few times. And I think that's just something he loves to wear in starts, because the other day he was being interviewed mid-game and it looked like he had a brand new LA cap on. You know, the Dodger blue was pristine and everything, so it might just be a game ritual that he has. I don't know the exact backstory on it, but it's definitely something. If it works for him, go for it. The count is now 2-2 to the Rays' number 2 hitter. Arozarena looks to continue his hot streak that started back a few nights ago with a home run in the bottom of the 9th. I believe that was game 2 or 3. I want to say game 3. The count's full now to Randy. Kershaw with the payoff pitch. And it's going to be a changeup right down Broadway that Arozarena fouls back and out. We'll try it again. Let's look at Clayton's pitching selection here. He's got a 4-pitch mix, a 4-seamer slider, and curveball. Those are his top 3. The changeup, which he uses 0.2% of the time. So, not used very often. A very rare appearance from Clayton to use that changeup as Randy Arozarena sends one down the left field line, and it is fair foul. Wow, I thought that was a 2-run home run for Randy Arozarena. Let me see the replay here. The camera angle that Fox gave us made it very difficult to see whether that ball was to the right of the foul pole or not, but it was indeed a foul ball. So the count remains full, and we'll try it again. Kershaw versus Randy Arozarena, who just missed a big hit here in the bottom of the first. The count's full. Kershaw checks up on Yandy Diaz at first, but he gets back there safely. I mainly collect MLB hats and have a couple NFL, NBA, etc. Nice. Yeah, I have 22 of 30. I look to add to my MLB collection sooner than later. Get some hats. I actually don't have a Tampa Bay Rays hat, so I'll have to go ahead and add one very soon. As Arozarena hits this to Corey Seager, it's a 6-4-3 double play. And it goes from no outs, 1 runner on to 2 outs, nobody on base, as Arozarena rolls one into a double play. 6-4-3. It was Seager to Taylor to Muncy, and that'll bring up Brandon Lau with no one on base. Brandon Lau will step in. He is starting at second and has had a big night, or a few big nights rather, finally starting to show his regular season form with 3 home runs in the World Series as he pops this one up. First pitch he sees in foul territory. Austin Barnes camps under in foul play to make the out. Will Smith is a designated hitter tonight. So 3 up, 3 down, just Kershaw has to rely on the double play. That will end the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no men left on base for the Rays. They lose a leadoff opportunity as Yandy Diaz got aboard with a single to get things going. We'll head to the top of the second and see whether or not the Dodgers can continue to beat up on Tyler Glasnow. You think Robert Manfred is a good or bad Major League commissioner? I don't really want to see Manfred as commish. Not a fan. And I know that is your YouTube name, so I do apologize. I don't mean anything, but yeah, I just think Rob Manfred can do a lot more to expand the game. And there's just been a lot going on. This winter, of course, was big with the Astros cheating scandal, and we see him call the World Series trophy a piece of metal. The way he handled the whole Astros thing, I don't think was great by any means. And not just that, over the years, Manfred has just not necessarily been, I think, the best for this position. Also, we're just going in the opposite direction, it seems like, under direction of Rob Manfred. He really isn't in favor of media coverage and letting players express themselves on social media. He says let the kids play, but then, if they wear cleats with certain logos and stuff on it, they get fined. It's just, I think he's hurting the game a little bit more than he's helping at the time being. So I hope that does not persist and maybe we see a shift in how he runs things, but we'll have to see. So I don't think Manfred is the best for Major League Baseball, but at any given point he can change how he's running things. So here we go. We're going to go to the top of the second. Jacques Peterson, Austin Barnes, and the top of the order, Mookie Betts, all due up. Those are your 8, 9, and 1 batters tonight for LA in the starting lineup. Jacques Peterson came in a big way yesterday with an RBI knock, pinch hitting for A.J. Pollock. He would stay in the game, would be the substitution for AJ directly, except just moving over to left field. Chris Taylor would shift over to center. Again, that brings us to the Brett Phillips walk-off single that just all around was rough around the edges for the Dodgers defense. Taylor bobbled it out in center, threw it into Max Muncy. Muncy had a good relay home, and just Smith could not hold on to it. And it was really never in the glove, so it's not even a matter of him not holding on. It was just the fact that he never really was able to have possession of the ball. So here's Tyler Glasnow. He faces off against Jacques Peterson, who's the first batter for LA here in the top of the second. Gets ahead 0-1. Make it 0-2 as a curveball is taken up in the zone. Jacques hitting .375 in the World Series. He's 3 for 8 with 2 RBIs and hitting .375 in the postseason with 1 home run and 7 ribbies. Getting things going, or looking to get things going here in the top of the second. The Dodgers already have a small lead of 2-0. Glasnow at 36 pitches. I hope Rob Manfred doesn't use expanded playoffs in 2021. He mentioned that it is on the table. That is something I will be making a video on once the World Series comes to an end, as Peterson takes a curveball outside. Count is 1-2. But that's something I want to talk about. I have mixed feelings about the expanded playoffs and the bracket that we saw this year, which included 16 teams making it to essentially October baseball. And Peterson hits an absolute rocket to left center field, a no-doubt home run, and the Dodgers have jumped on the Rays' right-handed starting pitcher early on in this one. It's 3-0. LA has put up runs in each of the first 2 frames. 428-foot bomb to left center, 106 off the bat, exit velo. Peterson, a leadoff home run here to get the top of the second going. Look at that. Glasnow gives up his 3rd run of the outing. Struggling with control and just not being able to find easy outs. We'll go to Austin Barnes now, the number 9 batter, and he will take a fastball down just below the knees for ball 1. Fastball was 97 miles per hour out of the arm of 6'8" Tyler Glasnow. His nickname is Baby Giraffe, as this one gets by Zunino, with the count is 2-0. So yeah, I do plan on making that video, just whether or not I'm for the expanded playoffs. 16 teams in October, definitely interesting, something we're not used to. But he said that, as well as maybe starting runner on second, is also a possibility for the 2021 year. So again, my full thoughts in a video that's coming up this offseason, as Glasnow just has not been able to find the zone. It's 3-0 to Austin Barnes, nobody out, and Mookie Betts on deck. The Dodgers backed up hitting .125 in the World Series, and he will walk on 4 consecutive balls. So he gets on board, not a single strike thrown in the at-bat. Jacques Peterson's home run, his barrel of the bat met the fastball up in the zone, and he just got every stitch of it. Beautiful swing, no doubt about it. As soon as it was hit off the bat, he watched that one go a little bit, as he should. That just gave the Dodgers a 3-run lead. And now Barnes is on first with nobody out for Mookie Betts. This is his 2nd time up in just as many innings. His first time around, he had a leadoff double and later scored on a Corey Seager RBI single. A curveball is just above the belt, but a generous call from the home plate umpire makes it strike 1. Glasnow's only outs in the first inning were strikeouts. And Mookie Betts now sends one to left field. I got a little too excited though, as Manny Margot makes the catch a few feet in front of the warning track, so 1 away. Mookie just missed that one. A fly ball to left field, good for the first out. Austin Barnes stands on first. Again, in the outfield, Margot, Kiermaier, and Renfroe from left to right. Seager is 8 for 15 in the World Series, having himself quite a fall classic. I had previously said in videos, as we see a stolen base attempt from Austin Barnes, and he is out trying to swipe a bag. The Dodgers are a team who will make use of small ball and trying to get runners in scoring position, take extra bases. Now, yeah, he beat the throw and the tag, but his momentum carried him off second base, and Adames kept the tag. So Barnes was in again. But yeah, Seager, I had previously stated I think the Dodgers would win the World Series in 7 games, and my MVP prediction was Corey Seager. He won the NLCS title. He may go ahead and win this one as well. Seager is the first Dodger player with a hit through 5 consecutive plate appearances in a World Series. He's going to go ahead and draw ball 4. So here we go. 2 outs, Corey Seager on first. I think the stream is lagging a little bit here. All right, Justin Turner steps in with Seager on first. Now the left side of the left side defensively last night for the Dodgers had a huge night at the plate. I believe Seager and Turner both went, 4 for 5. Let me just go ahead and check really quick. But Turner ahead in the count 1-0 with Corey Seager on first as Glasnow checks up on him, by the way. He's back in time, though. So Turner and Seager, just big nights yesterday at the plate. The left side of the diamond for LA really coming in big production-wise. Turner going to send this one out to left center. Kevin Kiermaier just in front of the warning track will make the catch, and that ends the inning. However, not before Jacques Peterson hits an absolute missile to left center field, a solo home run to lead off the top of the second, puts the Dodgers up by 3 as we go to the home half of the frame. 1 run on 1 hit with 1 man left on base for LA. So change the scoreboard here. We're going to the bottom of the second. Let's catch up with some comments here in the chat. Which free agent will the Dodgers go after in the offseason? And actually, we also got another chat here that says maybe Ken Giles. They're definitely in need maybe of some bullpen help. Their bullpen is still very good, and when Kenley Jansen has a good day, and when he has a strong outing, he's really, really good. But yesterday, blew the save, and Kershaw could have potentially been pitching tonight for the clinch of the World Series victory. The Dodgers would have had the opportunity to win in 5 games. But last night, Jansen just could not hold on to the 1-run lead, and he blew it. So the Dodgers can definitely use some back of the bullpen help. I think Giles may be a possibility. I don't know if they're really going to be spending a whole lot, though. I mean, Mookie Betts had that big extension going into this season, so whether or not the Dodgers are buyers come this winter is going to be an interesting topic for discussion. I'm not really sure they're going to be targeting anyone. I don't think they necessarily go after a big, top free agent. And maybe it is dependent on how well they do in the World Series here. So if they win it all, they may just go after some lower pieces. Because other than just Jansen not being the best, I don't necessarily know the Dodger free agents going into next season, but I don't think they're losing too many names. Liam Hendriks is also a viable option, as he is a free agent now, following the year coming to a close with the Oakland Athletics. I really, really like Liam Hendriks. Great reliever. He won the Mariano Rivera Reliever of the Year award just the other day. And he's got phenomenal stuff. So any team is going to benefit with Hendriks being on the roster for later innings, because he is just so good. He's been a top reliever now for a few seasons. At least been up in the conversation as a top reliever. And the first batter of the inning is going to lay down a bunt. Justin Turner makes a nice play, but the throw is not in time. Manny Margot, the cleanup batter, nonetheless, lays down a bunt for a base hit to get the bottom of the second going. So it's an infield single. He puts that one right down the third base line. Justin Turner does a good job getting to the ball. Just he cannot make the throw over to Max Muncy. And now we will see the right-handed bat of Hunter Renfroe starting in right field for the Rays, and he'll take a pitch down and in for ball one. The Rays not afraid of small ball either. They'll put down the occasional bunts. I mean, the Dodgers bunted in a run the other day. So, not surprised. Either of these teams are just doing what they can to win ball games, especially now in the Fall Classic. Renfroe going to jump ahead in the count as Kershaw misses. It's 2-0. Kershaw's 137 and 13 with the team when he has a 3+ run lead. Out of 150 games, Kershaw has only lost 13 of them when the Dodgers give him a 3-run lead. That is an insane statistic. And Renfroe is going to ground this one back to Clayton, who takes it over to first for a fielder's choice. He thinks about going to second with it to get the lead runner, but Margot is just there in time as he breaks on contact and gets the second. A runner in scoring position for the Rays for the first time this evening. And now Joey Wendell steps in. Starting at third base defensively, batting 6th in the lineup for the home Rays here in Game 5. Joey is batting 6th, hitting .216 with 5 RBIs, 1 stolen base, and a .523 OPS. Through 51 postseason at-bats, he'll take called strike one on the outer third of the plate. Don't know how the A's will do next year. They may lose both Marcus Semien and Liam Hendriks, 2 of their stars. Definitely a possibility. I do think Oakland will do what they can to bring back Semien. And from what I've heard, I don't see a reason why Marcus would not want to return to Oakland for 2021 and beyond, but just being the A's have come so close, yet so far these past few seasons, they need their big names. They need a Marcus Semien on that team. He's a guy who will get the ball, or he's a guy who will make production and be a positive attribute on both ends of the ball. He's got good defense, and he can hit the ball well in the batter's box. That's huge. And he hits that top of the lineup. He's going to be a key role for the A's if they want to continue to have success later on down the line, going into 2021 and 2022. I think they will sign him, at least be in heavy conversations with the star shortstop. The count goes 1-2 now as Kershaw throws a pitch that'll be tight in for ball one. Wendell behind in the count, but a runner in scoring position and one away. Hunter Renfroe grounded out previously, but Manny Margot, a leadoff bunt that got him aboard. Kershaw misses down and away. It's 2-2. There is a shift. Chris Taylor out in the right field grass. Corey Seager behind the second base bag. Justin Turner kind of playing in between shortstop and third. So Kershaw on the 2-2 delivery. Runner on second here in the bottom of the second. Wendell spoils it. Fouls it back and out of play. We'll try it again. The count is 2-2. Clayton Kershaw looks to go ahead and retire the second batter of the inning. He's at 23 pitches. Recording 4 outs here to start Game 5. And a curveball. Wow! Terrible call from the home plate umpire. Okay. That ball was well above the belt, but deemed a very generous strike 3 by the home plate umpire. So Joey Wendell goes down looking. That's the first strikeout of the game for Clayton, and he's frustrated. That's not a great call. Either way, 2 outs now in the bottom of the second. Manny Margot leads off second and is in scoring position. Willie Adames swings through a pitch 88 miles per hour at the knees, strike 1. How is that a strike? I have no idea. No idea. It looks like an Angel Hernandez call right there, even though it's not. I think the AL West, which is an underrated division, if you ask me, will be fought between the A's and Astros. Angels may get up there, but Rangers and Mariners will do nothing. As this is a ground ball to third, Justin Turner bounces the ball over to Max Muncy a little bit, but the play is made in time. So a 5-3 ground out to retire Willie Adames ends the inning. 1 hit, no runs, 1 man left on base. Manny Margot with a leadoff bunt, but was stranded at second come the end of the inning. So we go to the top of the third. Dodgers lead 3-0. See if they can score for the 3rd consecutive inning now. But I'm going to get right back to that comment here. Just give me one moment as I am adjusting the scoreboard here. Yeah, I think it's going to be close, the AL West, between the Astros and the Athletics. Angels really, it's tough. Mike Trout, I would love to see Mike Trout in the postseason. Just the Angels have not given him that opportunity. They went up and got Anthony Rendon this winter. He was supposed to be a key role in their success this year. Pitching is really one of their biggest concerns right now. And they have to make some moves. Maybe that means going after Trevor Bauer. But I still don't even know if that's enough. I really don't. They're going to need a few key pieces for the Angels to be competitive. Now, I can maybe see them, being close for a wild card if we still revert back to that 16-team bracket next year. But when there are other very competitive American League divisions, it's even going to be hard for the Angels to find themselves as an 8-seed team. So we'll see. I don't know how good they're going to be, but the Astros and A's are definitely going to battle it out next year, I think, a little bit, especially in a 162-game season. Marvin Hudson, you're a crappy umpire. Yeah, that was a very bad call. Very bad call against Joey Wendell right there. It favors Clayton, who ends up working out of the inning without giving up a run, but just tough way to go down if you're Wendell, because you never want to go down with the bat on your shoulders, but that's not even his fault. That was just genuinely a good take that he got the lower hand on. So either way, we go to the top of the third. Max Muncy, Will Smith, and Cody Bellinger are all due up. We get some chats. Mariners could go up in a few years with their solid farm team plus Kyle Lewis. Yeah, Kyle Lewis did really well as a rookie here in the 2020 abbreviated season. Now, the Mariners are a team who are working towards the future. They have some bright young stars to get them far towards the middle to later ends of this decade probably, but right now they're just playing to kind of develop some of the young stars that they have on the team who are ready at a major league level. So the Mariners won't be in it much, but yeah, Dylan Bundy was huge for the Angels this year, as mentioned in the chat. It's going to be fun watching this team get better and better, and by this team I mean the Halos. I'm excited for the possibility of Mike Trout being in October baseball, and alongside Anthony Rendon, Shohei Ohtani, and then the all-time vets Justin Upton and Albert Pujols, if they get them in the postseason, will be fun. Max Muncy ropes this one down the first base line, and it's going to be good for a leadoff single. So Muncy is aboard with his first hit of the day. He is now on base for the second time as he drew a walk in the top of the first. So now in each of the first 3 innings, the Dodgers have had a leadoff hit. Mookie Betts had a double in the top of the first to get things going. Jacques Peterson with the solo home run back in the top of the second. And now the first half of the third inning, Max Muncy gets a leadoff single. So Will Smith steps in, takes a curveball above the letters for a ball. He's ahead 1-0. Smith came into tonight with a .210 batting average, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, and a .634 OPS through 62 postseason at-bats. Tyler Glasnow struggling quite a bit with his control and his location, a fastball well above the letters yet again. North of the strike zone, he's going to fall behind 2-0 to the Dodgers DH Will Smith, who's batting 5th tonight. Behind Max Muncy, in front of Cody Bellinger, Will Smith doesn't hit for average, or at least not necessarily this postseason, but 13 RBIs is tied for the second most by any given player in the Dodgers lineup this postseason. Corey Seager leads LA in RBIs single-handedly with 18 runs batted in. And then it's Max Muncy and Will Smith tied for second with 13. Cody Bellinger has 12 ribbies here in October baseball as Will Smith fouls this one back. It's 2-2. So from a 2-0 count to one that's now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes, Tyler Glasnow looks to retire the first batter in Will Smith right here. Glasnow going on pitch number 58, looking to put away Will Smith. It's a curveball up just above the belt. Smith fouls it back. Now, one might say, well, what is he swinging at that for? It was a little bit high. He got a little bit under it, but also that was pretty much the same location Joey Wendell got rung up on. So you have to protect at that either way, knowing this umpire here in Game 5 of the World Series. We're going to try the 2-2 count again. It's a curveball that just misses down and away. That is a perfectly placed pitch from the 6'8" Rays right-handed starter. He just does not get the benefit of the doubt. The count goes full now to the man slotted 5th in LA's starting lineup. Again, Max Muncy on first. And Will Smith will strike out as he swings right through a fastball at 99 miles per hour. He goes down swinging. That's Glasnow's 4th strikeout of the game. And now Cody Bellinger will step in for his 2nd time. Love Max Muncy so much. Once an athletic, always an athletic. Yeah. Muncy has done some great things for the Dodgers production-wise here in the postseason and in the regular season. But he's played a big part of this team. And Cody Bellinger will start this count down 0-1. Glasnow is now north of 60 pitches here in the 3rd inning. Bellinger will swing at a curveball down in the dirt. It gets away from Zunino yet again. Another wild pitch. That advances Muncy into scoring position. And Glasnow has been all over the place. Way too early predictions for next year. Rays, Twins, and Astros winning AL divisions with the Yankees and A's making the wild card. Braves, Cubs, and Dodgers lead the NL, and Mets, Padres wild card. I really like that. That's solid. I think that's actually, definitely a possibility, especially with the Mets now being under the ownership of Steve Cohen. Deal pending, but assuming that does end up happening and it is finalized, Cohen, I think, will spend money this offseason. There are some good names to spend money on. Bellinger is going to strike out swinging, as he will not be able to make contact with the good old curveball down in the zone. That's Glasnow's 5th strikeout of Game 5. He had 8 strikeouts through 4 1/3 innings in his Game 1 start of the World Series, where he gave up 6 runs on 3 hits, striking out 8 batters, working 6 walks, and giving up 1 home run. Here in Game 5, he's given up 1 home run, 3 runs on, 4 hits now it looks like, and striking out 5. Chris Taylor steps up now, wearing his away gray jersey for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Max Muncy leads off second, and Taylor checks his swing. Does he go around? Yes, he does, says the first base umpire. The count is now even. White Sox and Indians can get up there. Shane Bieber is fire. Yeah, that is going to be a very exciting division in 2021. A lot of competition. A lot of competition. See how things play out. Fastball going to miss upstairs 98 miles per hour. Braves will be electric. Soroka should come back, having Fried and Soroka together. That would be crazy. That's a really strong 1-2 punch for the starting rotation. And we know just how good their lineup is on the offensive side of things. Taylor is going to put this one in play on a 2-1 count. Brandon Lau moves to his left a little bit to make the play, and he throws it over in time. So a 4-3 ground out ends the inning. No runs on 1 hit, 1 man left on base for the Dodgers. The first inning of the game, they do not score. We head to the home half of the third. The Rays still trail by 3. Yeah, I think the AL Central next year is going to be extremely tight between the Twins, the Indians, and the White Sox. Might be one of the closest divisions, especially in the AL. So it's going to be fun to see how things play out next year, how the divisions rank, and where each and every team falls. Dodgers should go after another pitcher. Yeah, I think whether or not it's a starter or a bullpen arm, not a bad idea. Again, the big topper when it comes to starting pitching this free agency is Trevor Bauer. A lot of teams want to go after him, and a lot of teams should go after him. It's going to be a fun narrative to follow where he lands this upcoming winter. AL Central is best, yeah. It definitely is. It's going to be very, very close. 3 extremely talented teams with a lot of potential, all fighting for the division title and maybe 1 wild card spot. If we go back to expanded playoffs, then we'll get the first and second place team and then a wild card spot. Either way, all of the White Sox, Indians, and Twins should find themselves back in October next year, or should find themselves with a fighting chance to get to that point. Indians, White Sox, Twins will all kill each other while the Tigers and Royals will rebuild. Yeah, but if you think about it this way, from the Tigers' perspective or the Royals' perspective, they're rebuilding, so maybe they will be good at a point where the Indians, White Sox, and or Twins will not be. So there may be a time these next few seasons where each of those three teams are losing some key pieces and the Tigers and Royals are starting to really climb up the ranks. That's what they're rebuilding for. Not necessarily, for a big run in 2021. NL East is also close. Braves and Mets, as well as the Phillies, will fight it out. Marlins just had a one-year wonder. We'll go back to nothing, and Nationals are done also. We'll see. I mean, maybe the bottom feeder Marlins do have something going. They have a young team and some star power with the names that they do have, the veteran names that they did acquire on that roster, whether it was over the winter or at the trade deadline. But it'll be fun. A nice little spectacle to see whether or not the Marlins will actually perform next year. Kershaw returning out to the mound for his third inning of work. He will lead things off against the left-handed center fielder Clayton Kershaw, who is finding himself in his first plate appearance of the game. He'll swing and miss through a pitch up in the zone that counts 0-2. In your opinion, NL Central is Cubs or Brewers. West is just Dodgers with the Padres barely trailing. Yep. Yeah, Padres, another exciting team for 2021 because we saw what they were capable of in a 60-game stretch, but add 102 games to a season, how much can they accomplish then? Because it can very well be a lot. I think they'll have a lot of success. I think they will. And if they can reunite Mike Clevenger and Trevor Bauer, oh my gosh, that team is going to put up a very, very good fight. AL East is just Rays and Yankees, Blue Jays trailing, Orioles and Red Sox will rebuild. I definitely agree. I do think if there is an expanded playoff bracketing next year, like Rob Manfred is saying there can be, the Blue Jays have a chance, once again, at being a 7 or 8 seed team. But in 162 games, the Yankees and or Rays run away with it. Kiermaier with a dribbler back right in front of the mound. Clayton Kershaw makes a good play, but the throw not in time. So Kiermaier with a swinging bunt gets him aboard. An infield single. We saw a literal bunt base hit in the second from Manny Margot. Now a swinging bunt from Kiermaier. The Rays are not swinging the bat well against Clayton Kershaw. Very limited contact, and the contact they are making is weak. So Clayton, the pitch count might be up a tiny bit, but at the same time, he's doing well. He just needs to get the Dodgers through 5 or 6 innings. 31 pitches through 2 completed. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. And Zunino steps up and takes called strike 1. Let's look at the Dodgers defense. The battery tonight is Clayton Kershaw pitching to Austin Barnes, Justin Turner starting at third base, Corey Seager at short, Chris Taylor at second, and Max Muncy, the left-handed first baseman, is starting just right there on the field tonight. And from right to left in the outfield, Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, and Jacques Peterson. Curveball going to drop in the dirt and miss the zone. It is 1-1. Now Zunino is 0 for 11 in the World Series. Looking for his first hit of the set and in a big way with a runner on and nobody out. Rays trailing by 3. The Rays backstop has gone through quite a slump. He may be 0 for 11 in the World Series, but he didn't even perform well average-wise in the remainder of October. Combined, 48 at-bats, a 167 average with 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, no stolen bases, and a 613 OPS. Now, I think we've mentioned this in each of the past few nights when we've been live. Batting average is not necessarily a stat that is weighted as much as it used to be at this point. You don't necessarily rank players and how good they are based off batting average. For certain things, like MVP considerations, and obviously the batting average champion, you're going to look specifically at how well they do and what their hits to at-bats ratio is. But, I've used the example of Christian Yelich as well these past few nights. He's a star and a really great outfielder in the game of Major League Baseball. This year, he hit just north of 200, still had 12 home runs, 24 RBIs, and I believe 2 stolen bases as Kershaw K's Zunino for the first out of the inning. Got him looking nonetheless, and that is Clayton's second strikeout of the ball game here in the bottom of the third. Kevin's got speed. Yes, he does. Beats out that infield base hit. So he's aboard on first, 1 out in the bottom of the third, and the lineup card flips over as Yandy Diaz steps up for his second plate appearance. His first time around, he singled off the veteran southpaw, was later a part of a double play, and helped Clayton get out of the inning unscathed. Diaz fouls back the first pitch he sees. Strike 1. Kershaw's thrown 37 pitches in 2 1/3 innings. Now I'm also noticing that the Rays have gotten a base hit to lead off each and every inning at the plate so far. Yandy Diaz with the single in the first, Manny Margot with the bunt single in the second, and Kevin Kiermaier with the swinging bunt in which he got aboard for a single also. 1-1 count, 1 out, 1 runner on for the leadoff batter, who's 1 for 1. The pitch is inside. Yandy Diaz gets his second hit of the night, and this is past the right fielder, Mookie Betts. Kevin Kiermaier is being waved home. Yandy Diaz going to third, and he's going to be safe. It's an RBI triple for Yandy Diaz. And the Rays are on the board. Wow. All right. Tampa Bay getting some scoring and getting some runs in a big way. Mookie Betts does not necessarily take the right path to that baseball. It gets by him all the way out to the wall, allows Kiermaier to score with ease, and then Yandy makes it all the way to third. So runner is now 90 feet away. The throw into third baseman Justin Turner pulls him off the bag, or else it might have been closer than it actually was. Kershaw now jumps ahead to Randy Arozarena as he gets a called strike. The rookie Randy's batting as the designated hitter tonight. 0 for 1, grounding out into a double play back in the first. He will wave and miss at good old Uncle Charlie. It's 0-2. So Kevin Kiermaier scores, plates the first run of the game for the Rays, and that is all off of the Yandy Diaz RBI triple. 1 on, an 0-2 count to Randy. Kershaw gets this one down in the dirt. Barnes keeps it in front. And now it's 1-2. All right. Kershaw looking to go ahead and sit down Arozarena. Can't let him get hot here in Game 5 as well. Got to end his streak, and nope, he does quite the opposite. It's an RBI single for Arozarena. Yandy Diaz scores easily. The Rays are threatening. They've scored 2 runs here in the third inning, and they're finally getting to Clayton Kershaw. So that was a curveball up in the zone that Randy gets on top of. But it gets right through the gap on the left side of the infield. Clayton Kershaw punches his glove. And Diaz has a big smile as he comes across to score. Let's go ahead and make it a 3-2 ball game. That's Arozarena's 27th hit of the postseason, which is ridiculous. In steps Brandon Lau. He's 0 for 1 with a pop-out back in the first. He's 3 for 18 in the World Series with 3 home runs and 6 RBIs. Rays are going to call up Wander Franco at some point. Yep, he'll probably make his debut within the next season or two, I'd say. As Lau fouls this one back and out of play, counts 0-2. Triple for Diaz, which was huge. That put him in a great position for the Rays to score run number 2, which they do. Who would win in a race, Kevin Kiermaier or Trey Turner? I can probably look up their speed, but both can really burn on the base paths. Kershaw going to put this one down in the dirt, and Lau sees ball 1. So let's go ahead here. Let me see if I can find out the fastest players in MLB. See where they rank. So StatCast sprint speed has Trey Turner 5th in all of Major League Baseball, as Lau fouls this one down the line. So Turner gets from home to first in 4.1 seconds. His sprint speed is 30 feet per second. And Kevin Kiermaier on this list is 13th. He gets from home to first in 4.16 seconds. His sprint speed is... 4.06 seconds. His sprint speed is 29.3 feet per second. So that's actually a very good question. Trey Turner or Kevin Kiermaier, who's the quickest? I mean, they have similar feet to second ratios. We'll have to go ahead and see. That's actually, I don't know. I think it's a lot closer than it may seem. Kiermaier or Turner, who do you guys think is the quickest on their feet? As Brandon fouls back another and the count remains 2-2. Mets rookie Andres Gimenez is pretty fast. He's underrated. Yeah, he actually did fairly well for the Mets this year in his rookie season. Billy Hamilton rushed both of them. He runs a mile in a minute, it feels like. Yeah, I mean, Hamilton's good. He's fast. Mondesi's also very quick on his feet. He's always up there on the list for stolen bases. Strike him out, throw him out. Strike him out, throw him out to end the third inning. Arozarena immediately points to the duck. He's like, no. Looks at the base umpire. He's like, no, I was safe. And the umpire's like, yeah, you were out. He got you. So strike him out, throw him out. That's huge if Kershaw does indeed get the double play on that. And what a tag by Chris Taylor. It looks like he just barely gets Randy Arozarena out. So, a strikeout to Brandon Lau. He goes down swinging on a curve in the dirt, which is good for punch-out number 3 from the Dodgers starter. And then Randy is caught stealing. Now, I believe he was caught stealing the other night as well. Nonetheless, the Rays plate 2 runs on 3 hits. And no men left on base. So they get into the run column. They're now just 1 behind the Dodgers. Made a very close attempt at tying the ball game in the home half of the third. So we go to inning number 4. And now the Dodgers have to go ahead and add some insurance to the scoreboard. They're only up by 1. And they need some of their guys to come through. It's going to be the 8-9-1 batters yet again. Jacques Peterson, last time he came up to lead off the inning, which was in the second, he hit a solo home run. So Randy Rosarena was caught stealing in Game 4 back in the first inning. So he's had 2 stolen base attempts in the World Series these last 2 games and was not successful either time. So he can hit for contact, he can hit for power, he can hit for average, but he has not yet been able to steal a base here in the postseason. Let's see here. So again, Jacques Peterson, Austin Barnes, and Mookie Betts are all going to come up. Here in the 4th. Now I know the Rays had someone warming in their bullpen. I don't know whether we will see a relief pitcher on the mound, as Glasnow struggled to get through 3 innings, giving up 3 runs on a fair share of hits. He totaled 4 hits, 5 strikeouts. So again, he strikes out more batters than he allows hits to. However, he gave up some walks, had a really hard time controlling his breaking ball, and the Dodgers got to him in the first 2 innings. Let alone the first 2 innings, but the first 2 batters of the game both scored. And that was just not a good start for the 6'8", 225-pound Tyler Glasnow. Flamethrower, one of the better arms in this Rays roster, but struggling this postseason. His 6th start, coming into tonight, he's 2-2 with a 6.08 ERA. In the 2020 regular season, he was 5-1 through 11 games pitched, and a 4.08 earned run average, 57 in the 3rd innings, 91 strikeouts, and a 1.13 whip. Glasnow will start the 4th inning. He's got 67 pitches under his belt. And the first to Jacques Peterson, as Peterson shows bunt, curveball down and in. Jacques pulls back the bunt, but it's a strike nonetheless. 5th player in franchise history with home run in 3 different World Series, and that's Jacques Peterson. So he's got a home run in 2017, 2018, and 2020, all in the Fall Classic. The 0-1 of Peterson, and he gets on top of a curve. He's also out in front of it, so it's going to go foul. He's down 0-2. Do you think the Yankees will get rid of Domingo Germán? I think that they should. I don't know whether or not they will. I know they brought him back and then put him on like the not active list, or they brought him back and he wasn't on the active roster, something like that in the postseason. As Peterson just gets under one, flies it out to left, and Margot will make the catch for the first out. They did something funky with him, I think, out here in October. And he still, I think, has time to serve on his suspension. I think it would be smart for the Yankees to move on and get rid of him. Whether or not they will is the actual question. But I do think it might be best for them to part ways with Domingo. Yes. Random question, what is y'all's favorite fast food restaurant? Okay, so I personally don't really have a preference, as Barnes sees strike one, a fastball at 97 inside. I don't really have a preference when it comes to fast food. I like all of Wendy's, Burger King, and McDonald's. I think they're all good for different things. So for me, really, it doesn't matter too much. Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's, I'll eat at any and all of them. I try not to eat there too frequently, though. But I do not mind majority of the chains. Curveball at the knees. Barnes checks his swing, but it's deemed a strike by the home plate umpire nonetheless. The count is 1-2 now to Austin, who worked a walk back in the second, his first time around. 1-2 count. Tyler Glasnow attempts to put him away. A curveball down and away. The count goes even at 2. The 2-2 count, and Barnes will spoil back a curveball. We'll try it again exactly from that count. Last now 75 pitches in. Now, I believe I said at the beginning of the stream, Tyler threw 112 pitches in Game 1, which was a career high. He's getting fairly close to that mark in the 4th. And Barnes sends this one out to right field. Hunter Renfroe will run straight back and make the catch, so it's out number 2. A line out to right means the first 2 men of the inning have been retired, and now Mookie Betts will step up. He's 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. That was back in the 1st. Hayden says he can see the Yankees getting rid of Herman and Duhar, Paxton, Tanaka, and Sanchez. That's definitely a lot. I can see the case for Domingo and for Andujar. Paxton's definitely on the fence. It gets really close with Tanaka and Sanchez. It's more or less a flip of a coin than anything with those two, because Tanaka has proven to be a reliable pitcher for us. And our rotation, we did sign Garrett Cole in the 2020 winter, but didn't really help our depth of the rotation too much. It did in some sense, but if the Yankees lose Masahiro Tanaka, they're still going to be lacking starting pitching arms. So Garrett Cole is great to have at the head of that rotation, but after that is where it gets a little sketchy. Davy Garcia definitely can find himself in a role. J.A. Happ maybe. If we have Paxton come back, he's an option. If Clark Schmidt gets a starting job, he just didn't really look good in his initial season as a Yankee here in 2020. I don't really know what to expect from them, but they're definitely not going after Bauer. I can't say they're definitely not going after Bauer. I just don't think they have the money for him. No matter how much I'd love to see him in a Yankees pinstripes uniform, just don't know if that's possible at this point. The Yankees are going to need pitching. Garrett Cole and Tanaka, fun 1-2 punch. I think Severino's set to come back at one point in 2021, but we'll see how good he is, if he's going to be the pre-Tommy John Severino that we're looking forward to, or if he's going to kind of fall off the cliff following the massive arm surgery. Mookie Betts will fly out to right, and that ends the inning. 3 up and 3 down for Tyler Glasnow. For the first time this game, no hits, no runs, no men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th. And then Sanchez, of course, struggled a lot, even lost his starting job with the Yankees in the postseason. Yeah, I could see the reasons why they would justify getting rid of Gary, but I just don't know if they're going to do that quite yet. The Mets could potentially get rid of Porcello and Waka, as both of their one-year contracts are up, as well as J.D. Davis and Matt Rosario. I think they'll hold on to Davis and Rosario because they definitely have performed to different extents in 2020. Davis broke out, and he was a great hitter for them. I think they'll hold on to Davis. Rosario is still young. He's gone through his ups and downs, but I think he still has somewhat of a future with New York, at least for the time being. Yanks get rid of Sanchez. I can see Voit wanting money, and the Yanks won't have, so he can walk. There have been a lot of articles on why Luke Voit should be traded or should be let go of or whatever from the Yankees side of things. And there's a lot of questions. This is also another potential Yankee video that I'm going to have go up this winter. This is something I was kind of planning on already, but there were questions revolving around Gleyber Torres. Will he have a starting job next year? Gary Sanchez, what does his future look like for the Yankees? And if Voit doesn't come back, I think that's going to be a major loss offensively. However, the Yankees have very limited money to work with this winter, and I think they're really going to either go after Tanaka or LeMahieu, and I'd rather see DJ on the team because of how consistent he is and the production on both ends of the ball. Also, his versatility. He can play first, second, or third, which is huge, and that can help justify why getting rid of Voit is a potential outcome, or possibility rather, because DJ can play first. And then you could always move Liberatores to second, see if he does better defensively on the right side of the diamond, but there are just so many questions. Or Tyler Wade can just fully take over for Glaber. A lot going on. A lot of rumors spreading in Yankee Nation. Yeah, the Yankees definitely need money to keep people and to sign some others. And the designated hitter might not be brought back, as mentioned in the chat here, so the Mets might have to get rid of a position player or two. So this winter is going to be exciting. I think there's a lot that can be done with each and every team. Also, just the fact that the DH might not be coming back definitely impacts the National League, because they were used to this designated hitter slot for 2020, and now next year they have some guys that play big roles that maybe aren't so good defensively who may not get starting roles. We'll see how things go. We'll see what rules come back in 2021. We'll see where players sign. That's always something to watch for in the winter. And just as an example for the Yankees and for the Mets, because we're throwing it out there, where will they go with some skeptical names and with some names who are kind of on the chopping block, for lack of a better word? Manny Margot comes into the bottom of the fourth for his second at bat. He's ahead in the count 3-1 against Clayton Kershaw and will swing and miss at a pitch south of the zone. Count goes full. Kershaw's payoff pitch on the full count will miss downstairs. Good for ball 4. And yet again, the Rays have their leadoff batter on. Just in this time around, it comes in the form of a leadoff walk. The Rays put up 2 runs in the third. They trail by 1 right now, but have their leadoff runner aboard for Hunter Renfroe, Joey Wendell, and Willie Adames. Renfroe will step in now after grounding out back to the pitcher and resulting in a fielder's choice in the second. We'll see where this inning takes them. Kershaw threw 6 innings in his Game 1 start. Margot goes for the stolen base, and it gets by the second baseman. He's going to go ahead and get 2 bases out of it. Oh my goodness. We have to unpack that one right there. A stolen base for Manny Margot. Austin Barnes' throw gets away from Chris Taylor. It gets away from Chris Taylor again. Off the end of the glove. So Margot will get to third safely because Taylor cannot keep the ball in his possession. That's twice now where Chris Taylor's defense at least has the potential to really hurt the Dodgers. Of course, last night, his little error out in center field allowed Kiermaier to score. And then, because he bobbled it, it resulted in a few other misplays that allowed Arozarena to score and walk off the game. Now a runner on third, no outs, potentially as the play is under review, but a player on third, no outs. It's hard to imagine a world where Margot does not score now, somehow, some way. And he's easily in at third. I don't know why this play is being reviewed, because unless his body came off the bag, like his chest came off the bag, is he safe by quite a bit. Unless it's just the angle I'm seeing it at. But Dodgers are indeed challenging. I mean, I feel like you kind of have to, because with nobody out, you need to get this runner off third somehow. And, it looks like his body does come off third base. So what he does is he slid. He dove head first, but his momentum carried him a little past the bag. He might be out. It's hard to see if his right hand is on third when the rest of his body isn't. But that is a lot closer than it looked initially. This is a huge out if overturned, and a big sigh of relief for Clayton Kershaw. Again, if this is indeed an out, the umpires have reached a verdict and he is safe. So the Rays have a runner on third, nobody out. Hunter Renfroe down in the count 0-1, but at this point just needs to send one to the outfield for a sac fly, and this game is tied. Also, just by the way, Randy Arozarena has casually set another record here in postseason baseball. The RBI single that he had last inning is good for Major League Baseball's all-time hit leader in a single postseason. He's got 27 hits this October. Ridiculous. Curveball called strike 2 to Renfroe. And Margot stands on third with nobody out, and he does represent the tying run. When can free agents sign with their new teams? So, to the best of my knowledge, there is a kind of grace period where teams cannot sign until at least 5 days after the World Series comes to an end. But most of the time, the big name free agents don't sign until a little bit later. Winter meetings is the most popular time because those are when the big conversations actually happen, and when the owners and guys like Brian Cashman will break out the checkbook and start to actually finalize deals. But usually it's winter meetings in December. We've seen it a lot later. We've seen it a lot earlier. I believe last year Yasmani Grandal signed pretty early. But also in the year prior, Machado and Harper took forever. Garrett Cole signed at winter meetings. So it depends, but typically not really within a week following the last game of the season, which is the final game of the World Series. And at least to that point, I believe it's players cannot talk to teams other than the one they were just with until 5 days after, and then they could start to worry about signing. So, yeah, no earlier really than a week, I don't think, for a free agent to sign. Just realistically, for teams to go ahead and come to an agreement with the player, it won't be for at least 7 days, because you have that grace period where you can't talk to different teams and you can't sign. So give or take a week. Hopefully that answers your question and wasn't too confusing. The count is full to the Rays' right-handed right fielder. Margot is on first, and that's ball... Margot's on third. That's ball 4. Renfroe is now on first. He'll draw a walk. Runners at the corners, nobody out for Joey Wendell, who is starting this game. Here at third base, he struck out looking in the second, and Kershaw is struggling in his second World Series start of the season. We go to commercial break now as the Dodgers call a timeout to go ahead and talk to their veteran southpaw, Clayton, who is starting to wear down a little bit here in the bottom of the fourth. Kershaw's thrown 63 pitches. He's retired 9 batters, given up 2 runs. He's used his slider 42% of the time, fastball 39% of the time, and curveball 19% of the time. And he will go ahead and try to pick off Hunter Renfroe. Not in time, as the right fielder is back to first safely. Again, Wendell struck out back in the second. He's 2 for 12 in the World Series up until this point. This one runs inside and tight for ball one. Let's see what what's going on in the chat over here. Winter meetings are in Dallas, Texas this year from December 6th through 10th. So that's when you're probably going to see a big chunk of change being spent by a lot of different teams, and some of the mid to high tier free agents, that's when they will sign. Now Wendell pops it up to Corey Seager, the shortstop, in shallow center field on the outfield grass. Huge first out of the inning. Clayton Kershaw could potentially get out of it here with the lead still, as he only needs a double play ball. That's a pop out to short for one away. Players like Bauer, Realmuto, Springer won't sign till January, February, where players like Mike Minor, James Paxton, and Yasiel Puig will be days after the World Series. Typically how it works. So you're going to see kind of like the lower end free agents probably come off the board a lot quicker. Sometimes, Bauer or Realmuto may sign in December. Like last year we saw a few top free agents go in that winter meeting time frame. So they may sign in December. But like we saw with Harper and Machado, I believe both of them signed very late into their respective free agency. Willy Adames has a huge shift on him. Chris Taylor, Corey Seager, and Justin Turner on the left side of the diamond. Max Muncy is holding on the runner at first. So really the entire right side of the infield is wide open. And we'll see what he can do here as he fouls this one down the line. He falls behind 0-1. Manny Margot jumps out of the way so the foul ball doesn't hit him. Dodgers lead 3-2, 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth, and Adames sees strike 2 with runners at the corners. Willie's fallen behind. He has not had much success this postseason, a 157 average with no home runs, 4 RBIs, 1 stolen base, and a 574 OPS in 51 at-bats. Again, Adames down 0-2, slotted 7th is the Tampa Bay Rays shortstop. Looking to go ahead and get something done here. See if he can get his first big hit of the World Series in this plate appearance. And he will swing and miss. Clayton Kershaw with a very nice slow-moving curveball. 74 miles per hour down and away, which Adames will offer and miss at. Good for a strikeout swinging. That's his 4th K of the game. And now Kershaw is 1 out away from getting out of the inning alive. Big at-bat here. And Clayton will face off against Kiermaier, who singled back in the 3rd to lead off the inning and was the first of 2 runs to score. And the first of only 2 runs to score so far this game. Kiermaier 5 for 14 in the World Series with 2 home runs. Again, 1 for 1 tonight. Lefty-lefty matchup, and he will foul back the fastball at 91 miles per hour knee high. So Kershaw jumps ahead 0-1 in the count. He's got to be careful how he goes about attacking Kevin Kiermaier, the left-handed center fielder. Another big shift. Now 3 defensive players on the right side of the diamond. Stealing home is Manny Margot. He's out. Oh my goodness. He immediately says, go to the headset. Go to the headset. And Kevin Cash is like, 1 second. Manny Margot just tried to steal home. Was he safe? No way. We know Manny Margot's got speed. He has a triple he had a single and then swiped a bag, I believe. He has a single back in the second. He walked and then stole a base here in the fourth. I was thinking about the Yandy Diaz triple, but he just attempted to steal third. Oh my gosh, steal home. I can't speak right now. I am shocked. Manny Margot might have just successfully stole home. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. The tying run might have just been plated on a steal of home. That is insane. Yeah. Manuel singled back in the second. Made it to second and no further. He walked here in the fourth. Stolen base here in this inning. And then it got away, so he got to third. He's very quick on his feet. Now stealing home. Very bold. Very bold of him, because if he just made the last out of the inning at home plate, that's going to be unfortunate. But he might have been safe. What a play. That is insane. There's something you don't see every day. Again, the small ball with Manny Margot stealing a base, getting to third on the wild throw, potentially stealing home. And it's taken a long time for the umps to deliberate. It's been an extensive commercial break at the moment as I've kind of just rambled on here. But what a ridiculous play. That's insane. The Rays were like, hey, we got a runner on third with no outs. 2 outs go by and we still don't have the run. We need to get creative, and they do exactly that. Wow. Okay, we'll see how things go. People in the chat think he's safe. I honestly didn't really get the best look at the replays that they showed. I think the angles were a little rough. We'll see if there's enough evidence to overturn this. A lot of replays in this game. So, I think this is replay number 3, or challenge number 3, rather. He's out. The umps, I guess before commercial break, they said he's out. Wow. Manny Margot ended the inning stealing home. And, okay, we go to the top of the fifth. I mean, quick change of events right there. Kershaw does take a long time to deliver towards home. Kiermaier jumped out of the way. Austin Barnes jumped to his feet. I was confused too, because of course with the normal camera angle, you can't see when the runner's taking off from third. Because usually guys don't attempt to steal home like that. Wow. So we're in the top of the 5th inning now. That is quite a way to end it. No runs on no hits. 1 man left on base. 2 walks right there in that inning. And Margot in scoring position with nobody out. I said it would be hard to imagine the Rays not scoring a run. They made it easy to imagine now, because we can just replay those last few minutes of the game. We go to the top of the 5th. I'm all over the place. That's something you don't see very often. Top of the 5th, and Corey Seager's in. The count is even at 2-2. Tyler Glasnow has officially made it further into this game than his Game 1 start. Let's get to the chat here. Robert Manfred said Bauer to the Braves and Realmuto to the Mets, Springer to the Red Sox, Hemming to the Phillies. Seager goes down on a fastball looking at his knees. Just beautiful pitch. 99 miles per hour. Strikeout number 6 for Glasnow, his second strikeout victim who went down looking. I can see that special immunity to the Mets. I definitely think JT has a good chance going out to New York. With Steve Cohen now being the head of that organization as the new owner, assuming that does get finalized and go through, which I don't see why it wouldn't. He's going to want to spend money on a big free agent. He wants to turn things around with the Mets. He said that. The Wilpons really no longer are a part of this organization, which is big sigh of relief for Mets fans that they are now gone. So I could see Realmuto going to the Mets. I like that. Bauer to the Braves, though, I'm not quite sure. Justin Turner, foul ball, nearly a big fly to put the Dodgers up 4-2, but not quite. I don't know if Bauer will go out to Atlanta. He'll definitely help that team. Just, also, they're showing the replay of Manny Margot stealing home. He was out. It did look like from the really tough camera angle, it did look like he was out right there. But I don't know if Bauer would go to the Braves. Ideally, of course, I don't think it's the time with the Yankees, again, because of money. But as my favorite athlete, I would love to see him go to my favorite team. I would kind of like to see Trevor go out to San Diego and reunite with not Trevor Bauer. Obviously, Trevor Bauer is Trevor Bauer. But I would love to see him reunite with Mike Clevinger. Bauer, Clevinger, Lamet, and Paddock as a top 4 starting rotation for a San Diego team that can hit the ball well. That team is really good. Backed by Brad Hand and a few relievers that are good at their jobs. Emilio Pagan, I think, did pretty well this year. The count goes full to Justin Turner, who was hitless through his first 2 at-bats. A strikeout looking in the first and a fly to center in the second. But I don't know. Obviously, anywhere is a possibility for free agents. So we'll see how things go. Springer to the Red Sox, very possible. Send me to the Phillies. I would think that he doesn't stray far from Oakland, especially because I think right now the Athletics have a better chance at winning and going further than the Phillies do, but that's just kind of what I think. And most of the time, or often than not, I think players do want to go ahead and win. Bauer, I know, said he wants to win, go out to a competitive team, so there is that. Now, we get Turner to fly out to center, 2 away, and Max Muncy sees a fastball downstairs for ball 1. Bleacher Report says Bauer top 5 signings would be White Sox, Angels, Mets, Padres, and Yankees. I would love for him to come to the Yankees. Honestly, I would just be so happy if our 1-2 punch was Bauer Cole or Cole Bauer. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. Let's lock Bauer up for a deal, but I don't think we have the money for it. However, White Sox, contending team, looking to go far, possibility. Angels have the money, have great players, just have not made it to a postseason yet with Mike Trout. Who else is on this team list? The Mets, again, Steve Cohen wants to rebuild, wants to spend big money. That's a team who can be successful in 2021 without having to do much this postseason. This winter, oh my goodness. But the Mets can definitely be a squad who turn things around in 2021 with very minimal moves this winter if they make the right moves. Like they need a Trevor Bauer or a JT Realmuto. Pitching would help. Some, middle range defenders and hitters also probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but nothing too crazy. And again, Yankees would love that. Padres would love that. Honestly, I'd be happy for Bauer if he goes either to San Diego or New York. I'd be happy no matter where he goes because I'm rooting for him. Number 1 guy for me in the league. But, he's going to make the money he deserves. I just would love to see him in a San Diego uniform or sporting pinstripes. And Max Muncy, I mean, The bat flip is incredible. He sends a solo shot well out to the right field seats. That's his third home run of the postseason. It was on a full count with 2 away nonetheless. Max Muncy just gets every stitch of that ball. He pimps it. Oh my gosh. What a swing. He got every inch of that baseball. Make it 4-2. The Dodgers add a run to their total, extend their lead a little bit. They're going to need insurance, especially seeing what the Rays did yesterday. Tampa Bay is down but not out until the final out is recorded. And that's for sure. Max Muncy, huge hit right there. That is his third home run of the postseason, 14th run batted in, and now Will Smith will make his third appearance with 2 outs in the first half of the 5th frame. Gone, says Gaming Sean. Yes, sir, Max. That was awesome. What a swing. What a bat flip. High stakes, and just he comes through in the clutch as Smith sees a curveball, borderline strike 1. Counts even, by the way. The Mets have to sign either Amuto, Bauer, or Hendricks. If they don't sign any one of these 3, it's a failed offseason. Yeah, they do have to make some splashes, and I don't think it'll be a problem. The money is definitely going to be there now. I think Cohen is the richest owner in Major League Baseball. Again, once that is finalized and goes through. Muncy has 3 home runs and 12 RBIs with 2 outs in the postseason. So that's his 14th run batted in. And all of his home runs and 12 of those RBIs have been with 2 men retired. Smith goes down looking, but huge home run from Max Muncy. Strike at number 7 for Lasno. He gets out of it after only giving up 1 hit and 1 run. No man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th. And guys, I do think the bottom half of this inning will be my last live. We will be back for Game 6. The winner of tonight's game will just need 1 more win for a World Series championship title. Great stream tonight. Gotta go. School in the morning. Will you have a stream tomorrow same time? So, thank you, Hayden. I appreciate it. Tomorrow is an off day for the Rays and Dodgers. They do not play, so I will be streaming the next time, Tuesday night, same time, start of Game 6 of the World Series. I believe that's an 8:08 start time, Eastern time. If not 8:08, it's 8:11. I'm just going to bring that up for you right now. So the next game is Tuesday night, October 27th, 8:08 p.m. Blake Snell is already set to be starting for Tampa Bay. So that should be the next time I am live. Now again, I never have a set streaming schedule. Sometimes things come up last minute and I can't get on YouTube for live play-by-plays. The best way for you guys to know whether or not I'm live or whenever I upload a video is to go ahead, have your notifications turned on down below. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and join the team. Click subscribe down there below the video if you haven't already, and let me know what your final predictions are for the World Series. At the moment, it looks like the Dodgers have the win, but as I said, you cannot count out the Rays. Down to their last out yesterday, walked it off. Incredible Game 4, evened up the set at 2 wins apiece, made it to at least a Game 6 of a best-of-7 set. Exciting stuff. I'm really looking forward to the end of the season, and that's... I contradict myself right there in that statement because I'm looking forward to the end of the season because hopefully we get 6-7 games out of this World Series. But at the same time, once the end of the season hits, there's no more baseball until spring training in February. So it's definitely bittersweet. But we're going to have a World Series champion within the next three days, right? Because Game 7 would be set for Wednesday. See you then, Hayden. Stay safe to you as well. Thank you to everyone who has joined the stream. If you're tuning in right now, if you watched at any point throughout the 2 hours we've been live, or if you are watching this after it's been published as a playback. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Would not be here without your continued support. So thank you to each and every one of you all. The last 3 outs I will be live for starts with Clayton Kershaw pitching to Kevin Kiermaier. He drops an off-speed pitch at 87 miles per hour for called strike one against the left-handed center fielder. Now, Kiermaier in the third singled and scored, started a mini rally as he fouls this one back for strike two. The left-handed center fielder is 1 for 1 on the day, looking to add to that list, and coming into tonight was hitting .224 in postseason baseball with 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, no stolen bases, and a .745 on base plus slugging. He's fallen behind now 0-2. It's Kershaw to Kiermaier. He checks his swing. Does he go around? No, he does not, says the third base ump on the appeal. 1-2 now to Kiermaier, the longest tenured Tampa Bay Ray on the active list, rather. And he will not be able to make contact with the pitch up and in. That's strikeout number 5 for Clayton Kershaw. Got him swinging. In his Game 1 start, Kersh had 8 punch-outs in 6 innings, allowing 1 run on 2 hits. Either way, assuming he goes 5-6 innings, at this point in the game, Kershaw has put the Dodgers in a position to win. And I think that was a big question mark entering Game 5 here. Because we know Clayton Kershaw, not the best and also not the worst in postseason history. 36 career postseason games or appearances, a 12-12 record, 4.22 ERA, 183 in the third innings with 201 strikeouts and a 1.01 WHIP. He is on the Dodgers leaderboard. He leads a few different categories on the mound in franchise history, and gets ahead in the count 1-2 to Zunino. So the 1-2 count to the Rays backstop. And Kershaw will look to retire the second batter of the inning. He does. Throws an off-speed pitch knee-high right down Broadway. Zunino will not make contact. Well, he does, but he tips it into the glove of Austin Barnes. And that's good for the second strikeout of the inning. 6th strikeout of the game for Kershaw. His last 3 men have gone down on strikeouts. Last 3 batters, rather, because the third out of the 4th was recorded as Kershaw picked Margot off, stealing home. Ridiculous. I still cannot believe that happened. We flip over to the top of the lineup card, and it's going to be strike 1 to Yandy Diaz, who has had himself quite a night. A single back in the first, then a triple in the third in which he scored. He also has an RBI on the day and is batting .400 in the World Series. 1-1 count to the number 1 batter in the lineup and Rays first baseman. Curveball going to miss upstairs for ball 2. The 2-1 delivery misses downstairs, so Kershaw changes the eye level, but this one will again miss outside of the zone. So Diaz could potentially reach base for his 3rd time this game here in at-bat number 3. He takes a fastball just below the knees. The home plate umpire gives Kershaw the benefit of the doubt and goes ahead. Count is full. Clayton has the most postseason strikeouts all time with 207. He surpassed Justin Verlander, who had 205 punchies in October baseball. Diaz grounds this one over to Corey Seager. In the full count, Seager makes the throw over to Max Muncy in time, and that will go ahead and end the inning. A 6-3 ground out, no runs, no hits, no men left on base for the Rays. They trail by 2 in the bottom of the 5th. But guys, that will end it for me today the live play-by-play coverage of Game 5 of the World Series between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I fully intend on doing this exact same thing for Game 6, which is slated for Tuesday, October 27th, an 8:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Turn your post notifications on for the channel if you haven't already. It's the best way to know when I go live or when I upload a video. Thank you to each and every one of you who have tuned in today at one point or another. I appreciate the continued support and would not be here without you guys. I hope you have a safe night. Each and every one of you out there watching and listening, thank you all so much for your support. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe. Join the team if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great night. I'll see you all next time.